Hello, everyone. I'm Gary Owen, the Chief of Congressional and Public Affairs here at DEA, and I'd like to welcome you all to DEA's 2016 Red Ribbon Rally. At this time, I'd like to remind everyone to silence any electronic devices you may have with you today. The annual Red Ribbon Week observances around the country serve to remind everyone of the need to educate America's youth about the dangers of drug abuse and is a call to redouble our efforts concerning drug prevention, education, and awareness. Especially for those of us at DEA, this is a time to reflect on the sacrifice made by Special Agent Kiki Camarena and renew our commitment to stopping the drug dealers operating on America's streets. But this is also a time for hope, time to build for the future. Red Ribbon is about helping kids make informed choices. It's a time for all of us to get together and start a dialogue concerning the dangers of drug abuse with youth across the country. Our Master of Ceremonies today is Joe Lusignan. Joe is the Deputy Director of West Coast Operations and the Drug Demand Reduction Resource Officer for the Young Marines. The Young Marines is a national youth organization which embraces drug education as a core tenet. Not surprising is the fact that Joe is a former Marine. He was also a deputy sheriff in Benton County, Washington. Joe has worked with the Young Marines for over 20 years. Last week, the Young Marines received its 8th Department of Defense Fulcrum Shield Award, which recognized their unit in East Valley, Arizona, for their intensive efforts to spread anti-drug messages in their community. We congratulate the Young Marines and thank you, Joe, for your work with this amazing group of young leaders. Please join me in welcoming Joe to the stage.
Thank you, Gary, and good morning, everyone. I have to be honest with you, normally when I speak, it's without a script, but I promised Tammy that I would do my best to stick to the script today. So for right now, would you please stand for the presentation of the colors by Air Force JROTC from the Arlington, Virginia Career Center, and remain standing for the singing of our national anthem by members of the South Lakes High School Choir.
Detail. Who? Present. Who? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Order! Hoot! Forward! Hoot!
Thank you to the Junior ROTC Color Guard and the South Lakes High School Choir. We look forward to hearing from the choir again later in the program. And thank you all for joining us today at DEA Red Ribbon Rally. You may take your seats, please. I'd like to welcome all of our program participants, our guests from other federal government agencies, the military, fellow law enforcement, DEA's National Drug Prevention Partners, and you, the DEA employees, to this event. We also welcome everyone who is viewing the webcast of this program today. Where's the camera? And I'm just going to say it. Hi, Mom. We have an exciting program planned for you, so let's get started. We will begin this morning with a video about the history of Red Ribbon, followed by a special message from Judge Enrique Camarena Jr., son of DEA Special Agent Kiki Camarena.
Like many hugely positive things, Red Ribbon Week grew out of something profoundly negative: the savage murder of Enrique Kiki Camarena, a Drug Enforcement Administration special agent. On February 7, 1985, life forever changed for the Camarena family. Enrique Kiki Camarena Salazar, loving husband, father, son and brother, decorated Marine, police officer, and special agent, had been kidnapped by drug dealers, never to be seen alive again.
He was taken to a house not too far away from the consulate where he was tortured. He was kept alive by injection so he could relay more information about what he knew about the traffickers. And after a few days of torture, he was killed.
For his kidnappers, the story was to end there. However, for his family, friends, and a grateful nation, it was only the beginning. They hunted down, captured, and brought his killers to justice. They pledged to not let his legacy fade and his sacrifice be in vain. His body was flown back to the United States aboard a military plane. It was a sad journey. At his funeral, hundreds of law enforcement officers paid their final respects to a fallen comrade.
Kiki is not the only special agent who has returned home or who will return home on his shield. We shall not fail to honor his trust in us.
Across the country, citizens wore and displayed red ribbons, not only in memory of Special Agent Camarena, but for all those whose lives were lost trying to free the nation from drugs. Beyond that, the red ribbons symbolized the development of an attitude of intolerance regarding the use of drugs. In a 1988 proclamation, Congress established Red Ribbon Week to commemorate the life and work of Kiki and to show intolerance for drugs in our schools, workplaces, and communities.
Hello everyone at DEA. My name is Enrique Camarena. I am the oldest son of Enrique Salazar Camarena, Kiki as everybody knows him. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who celebrates Red Ribbon Week. I find it hard to believe that it's been 30 years already and that Red Ribbon Week is about as strong as ever. You know, my mother and I go and speak about Red Ribbon Week to schools and to different community groups, and we're amazed and just in awe at how many people participate and how many people try to affect the young lives of people who sometimes make wrong choices, right? But we as grown-ups, we as people who are in this business, want to impart some education, let them know about the dangers of drugs, and then also, for me, it's kind of a little bit of an added cherry on top to tell them a little bit more about my dad. Older, more experienced, perhaps gray-haired people remember my dad. The younger folks in elementary school and junior high do not. And so I think it's important to remind them, give them a little history lesson about what it is that inspired millions and millions of people to celebrate Red Ribbon Week every year. And that's my dad's story, what happened to him, his sacrifice, and the dangers that he faced, and the dangers that a lot of people still face. And so I make sure they understand that. Of course, it comes in a very personal way when I speak to people, but I think the fact that they get the story, they understand it, they pass it on to everybody else, that's one of the main reasons why Red Ribbon Week has lasted. It has a personal touch. And I thank you for conveying that personal touch, and thank you for celebrating Red Ribbon Week every year. Thank you very much.
As a retired police officer, deputy sheriff, I saw a lot of tragedy in my career, and it seems like there's always the opportunity for the child or those who are surviving in the family to take the wrong road and go south in their lamentation of their loss. So it's nice to see that Kiki Jr., instead of going down those wrong paths, picked up that torch and carried on in a great way that I know his dad would feel very proud of him. I think as a parent, we always want to feel like we're doing the right thing for our children. And I know that Kiki, in looking down at his children, has got to be very proud of where his family has gone after his loss. And now we will hear from the DEA Acting Administrator, Chuck Rosenberg. Chuck Rosenberg was appointed Acting Administrator of the Drug Enforcement Administration on May 13th, 2015, by Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Prior to joining the DEA, Mr. Rosenberg served as Chief of Staff and Senior Counselor to the Federal Bureau of Investigation Director James Comey. Mr. Rosenberg has also served as the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia and the Southern District of Texas. In addition to directing the drug enforcement work of the DEA, Mr. Rosenberg also knows that both enforcement and prevention efforts are critical to keeping our communities safe and drug-free. Please join me in welcoming Acting Administrator Rosenberg to the stage.
Thank you for that introduction. Thank you to those of you who are here and those of you listening around the country and around the world. We remember our own. That's what we do in law enforcement, whether it's through Police Week, through the Wall of Honor that we have in our offices here and around the country and around the world, or through gatherings like this. We remember our own, their sacrifice, that they chose to do good for a living, and in the case of Special Agent Camarena and too many others, paid the ultimate cost for the choice that they made. Let me say a few words. First, let me thank the young men and women who are here today, who are performing, who presented the colors. Really, when I say stuff up here, I'm talking to you, not to anyone else. I worry that I'm preaching to the choir with respect to the DEA and to law enforcement. So let me just say a few words to you. First of all, that was a fabulous rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. It really was. I've heard it performed many, many times, seldom as good as that. And I have no doubt that the ensemble from Westbury High School, the jazz ensemble, will be every bit as good. But let me just say a few words to you. There is no way that we're going to prosecute or jail or enforce our way out of this mess, this epidemic. We're going to lose 47,000 people this year to a drug overdose. 47,000 people will die from a drug overdose. I'm a huge baseball fan. I know our really cool guest speaker made his mark in professional football, but I think the analogy I'm about to use will resonate whether you're a football fan or a baseball fan. Nationals Park holds about 41,000 people. It would be as if every man and woman and child at a sold-out Nats game died in a given year. I mean, think about those numbers, and that's what's happening on an annual basis in the United States. It's an epidemic, and so I worry that people aren't going to listen to me. I'm just an old guy. They're going to listen to you. And I don't mean that you should be standing on the street corner handing out pamphlets or things like that. But you all have friends, you all have families, right? You all have people that you have lunch with or play sports with or sing with. Talk to them. If one of them is in trouble, talk to them, pull them aside, say something. This is the way we're going to change this. A person at a time, a conversation at a time, a day at a time. So we're looking to you to help us do our work. As I said, the DEA are the best drug enforcers in the world. They make the biggest and most important cases against the most violent gangs and cartels. But until we stop the demand, right, we're shouting into the wind. So I need you, and I need your friends, and I need your brothers and sisters to help. Just be a part of this. Again, I don't need you handing out literature on the street corners, but if you see a friend in trouble, just reach out, just say something. It'll start with you, and if we get this right, it'll end with you. I wanted to thank, too, all the young men and women who entered our contests, and particularly our award winners who are here today. I know we'll honor you a little bit later. We'll get to you, I promise. But thank you, too, in your own way, using your remarkable talent. I have your bookmarks, by the way. I have all of them. Thank you for using your remarkable talent to help spread this message, too. As with the other folks in the audience today, it starts with you. Do your part. You already have. So thank you. The sooner I stop, the quicker we can get to Qadri Ismail, our really cool guest speaker today. So I'm going to stop. I guess you're going to come back up here and introduce him. But I'm so glad he's here with us today. Listen carefully to what he says. He's not just a remarkable athlete and an accomplished athlete, but he's a remarkably thoughtful man. And I hope that what he says will resonate with you. I trust it will. And with all the folks around the country and around the world who will be listening as well. So thank you for making a difference. I need your help.
As a retired law enforcement officer, a lot of Mr. Rosenberg's words rang true for me. And it is in the key, just as the stance that we take with our Young Marine program, I would echo those sentiments that I can, after my experiences in a career of law enforcement, talk till I'm blue in my bald spot, as far as the dangers of drugs. And they don't necessarily listen because as an old person, I'm supposed to say drugs are bad. But they will listen to you, our youth. But the key, too, is we have to realize as adults how difficult that task that we're demanding of our youth. It is not easy for a young person to stand up in the middle of a public high school and say, dude, the emperor's got no clothes. It is not a positively heard message when they say drugs are bad. But unless we can convince our youth to pick up that torch and run with it, we will continue on the decline that we're at. I read a newspaper article the other day that said 57% of our adults in this country are pro-legalizing marijuana. If you are my age, I really don't have many concerns what you do in the privacy of your own home. However, when it affects our youth, I think it's incumbent on us to stand up and shout out that that's wrong. It's been linked to several medical issues, but for our progress as one of the nation's, out of the world's superpowers, we cannot afford to lose any of our acumen, our academic acumen from our youth, and it's been proven to cause up to the loss of IQ points in the ages of 14 to 24. As a nation, this should scare us. However, it's not our youth that are pressing to legalize these drugs, it's our adults. We're asking our youth to change that message. This week and through the end of this month, there will be red ribbon events going on all around the country. In every DEA field division, DEA employees will be participating in red ribbon programs for schools, businesses, and in their local communities. Let's watch a video of the Westbury High School Jazz Ensemble performing at a red ribbon event just last week in Texas.
Welcome to Houston. It's an exciting time for us as we kick off this year's Red Ribbon festivities. Over the next couple of weeks, we will go out and throughout the region connect with thousands of kids. and educate the kids on the ill and devastating effects of drug use and drug trafficking, and also remind them of why they wear their red ribbon in recognition of Enrique Camarena and all of the men and women who have lost their lives in this fight against illegal drug abuse and drug trafficking. I hope everyone enjoys the performance.
We're going to dedicate this to Kiki.
This is just a little samba built upon a single note. Other notes are bound to follow, but the root is still the note. Now it's still running the consequence of the one we've just been through. As about to be the unavoidable consequence of you. This is just a little samba built upon a single note. Other notes are bound to follow, but the root is still the note. Now the still one is the consequence of the one we just been through. As about to be the unavoidable consequence of you. So many people talking, but say nothing, or really nothing. I never realized that I know anything that comes from nothing, or really nothing. So I go back to my first note, as I just go back to you. I was born to learn one note, all of the life is for you. Anyone who wants the whole show, bravely must hold on Tito. He will find himself with no show, better play that note you know.
As you can see, we do everything big in Houston. We started off our Red Ribbon celebration here at Westbury High School. We had some great presenters. We had Moose, our explosive dog from the U.S. Marshal Service. We had ATF, we had the Department of Homeland Security, along with DEA, and a lot of great presenters here today. This has been a great celebration.
And I would echo that that was a great celebration, with much of our music today highlighting racism or misogyny or the advent of escaping the harsh realities of life through drug usage. This is a group of young adults using their talents to preach a good message. So we'd like to thank Special Agent in Charge Joe Adabit and the Houston Demand Reduction Coordinator Don Mathis for showing us how they celebrate Red Ribbon in Texas. And now it is my extreme pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for the day, Kadri Ismail. Kadri is a former NFL wide receiver who spent 10 seasons in professional football, highlighted by a victory in Super Bowl. Now, I'm not your average Marine, because in here it says XXX with a V on it. Oh, thank you, sir. A victory in Super Bowl 35 as a member of the Baltimore Ravens. Kadri was nicknamed the Missile for his blinding speed as a wide receiver and return specialist. He played for 4 teams in the NFL, 1993 to 2002, including the Minnesota Vikings, the New Orleans Saints, the Indianapolis Colts, and the Baltimore Ravens. His only true regret is that he never had the opportunity to play for the New England Patriots. I may have made that last part up. Kadri is a former standout two-sport collegiate athlete named All-American in both football and track and field. Kadri is currently a sports television analyst and an athletic trainer. Please join me in welcoming Kadri Ismail to the stage.
Oh, you Patriots fan, you. So it is such the honor to be standing before all of you, and I will preach to the choir and say this, that to all the DA agents, to all the people in law enforcement, to all the people who put so much on the line to help this country stay on the right track and fight against those that want to exploit the youth and the minds of the people here in this country, I want to say thank you. And I do know that it is not a job that is a lot of high praise, but people like myself, we do recognize the job and the efforts that you do, and I do want to say thank you to you. That being said, I also do want to also speak to the young people. I know that throughout my time as a young person, I've had so many influences on my life. My coaches from high school, I know that my time in high school was a memorable one, but one of the things that I thought that really left a strong impression upon me was this. So my coach, he always preached about being a team, and I think football is such a strong team sport. You obviously realize that, one person can mess up an entire play, but at the same time, together, everyone can make a play be successful, whether it be offensively, defensively, or special teams. And I think that one of the things that I looked at for my life, especially then, was the fact that I had my brother as my teammate. And I say this because I know that when you look at what we're talking about as far as the choices that we make, whether or not we want to be that cool kid who feels like, yeah, go ahead and smoke a joint. Oh, no, don't worry about it. Go ahead and get high on some heroin or crack cocaine. It's cool. Just go ahead and do it. I think the one thing that really stuck out in my mind when we were in those situations, my brother and I stuck together. And I remember as a team, he and I doing the reverse peer pressure in high school. I clearly remember sitting there at many a high school party. And so for us, it was the drug of choice was just being a young kid trying to get drunk. And so all the boys would, try to be all cool about going out there and seeing if they could sneak in some alcohol into the party. Oh man, how many beers did you drink? How many kegs did you have? Well, my mindset was different. I was like, well, the mentors that I had, my coaches, my mom, they were all about, look, we recognize, yeah, you have a choice to make, but make the right choice. And in making that right choice, also recognize this, that you can influence those around you. And so my brother and I, we basically had a reverse peer pressure. I literally would go up to my friends, and it wasn't about, sitting up there in the pulpit, but I would go to my friends one-on-one, like, hey man, what's up? How you doing? Good? Yeah? Kind of give them the stare like this. What? Let me smell your breath. You all right? Yeah, good. All right. We good? Yeah, we good. But it was just the interaction between the one-on-one moments with my teammates, with my friends, and the consistency. It's not about what I say, but it is about what I do that matters the most. I fast forward to today. Yes, I have been privileged and honored and blessed to say that I was able to do what every child wanted to do, and that's to play in the National Football League. No, I mean, not every child, but I know for me, a lot of my friends, yeah, we desire to be that less than 1% of the population that gets an opportunity to say they're a Super Bowl champion. And we didn't have Spygate either. Did you guys have Spygate? You guys had Spygate. The Patriots, they deserved all their championships. I'm feeling a little deflated right now about some of them. But I will say this, though, that I wear this Super Bowl ring proudly, and I have so many memories of what it took to get this ring. The season actually was one of my most challenging seasons. I had an MCL tear, which is the ligament on the inside of your knee. And I remember going through that injury and saying to myself, I can get back. And one of the conversations that I had backstage was about the use of prescription medication. And I think that for me, it was important to stay on track with my message of trying to keep my body as my temple. In other words, what I put into it, I don't want it to harm me, I don't want it to hurt me, and I want it to help me. And so therefore, I literally was like, nah, I know you want to give me the anti-inflammatory, I know you want to give me the painkiller, but I have a choice to make, and I choose not to go down that road. And yes, it was difficult. Yes, my leg was in a lot of pain, but I think as I look back on it, I feel better as a person that I was able to get through that without having to rely upon heavy prescription painkillers, because I do recognize that is something that a lot of people are addicted to because of the fact that they're trying to calm their body and not be in that much pain. But with that being said, though, I will say this. I know that for young people, as well as the DEA agents that are here and around the world that are listening, that it is about being a strong person of choice. You can either choose to go down a path of destruction, or you can choose to say, no, I desire to live. I desire to stand before you and say that you can take blood from me, you can take a urine sample, you can pull my hair, and you can sample it all you want. And I am proud to say that I am drug-free. I am proud to say that, yes, I did make those choices that were living choices, not choices of death. I am proud to say that, yes, my talents and my understanding of athletic success wasn't just about me, but it was about those mentors, that I was able to pay it forward, that I was able to go out and speak to many a young person. My time in Minnesota, we spoke to over 1,000 DARE groups around the Minneapolis area. I'm proud to sit there before them and stand up and be that role model for them. Yes, I am proud to say that I am drug-free, but I do recognize this. Thank you. I do recognize this, that yes, what is the next generation? What is the challenge before you? How can you yourselves come together and say to yourselves, how can we make that positive peer pressure change as we move forward in our lives? I want to thank all of you for being here today. I want to thank this opportunity to be in front of you and celebrate a tragedy that turned into triumph, a tragic event that turned into a blessing. I am thankful for the men like Kiki who were able to draw the line in the sand and say, no, we will not allow this to infiltrate our country. No, we will not allow drugs to have an effect on the lives of the people that we love. I am so thankful and so blessed. And I am so thankful, so honored to be in front of you today. God bless you. God bless America. Thank you.
Do you see that ring on his finger? You put a flashlight on that and it'll light up this entire room. Of course, Brady's got 4 of them. I just got the opportunity of meeting Kadri out in the hallway, and it was somebody that I knew immediately that I could be friends with. In our country, we worship our athletes and we put them on posters and we adulate them and that type of thing. But I would argue that the message that he is sending out now, especially to our youth, should resonate so much more than the touchdowns that he scored. because the potential for him really making a difference in a child's life comes now. So thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And now it's time to recognize DEA's Bookmark Contest winners. The Bookmark Contest was established many years ago for children of DEA employees to encourage elementary and middle school students to create drug prevention messages in the form of a bookmark. And I'm looking at the script here because I want to make sure that I didn't forget to invite someone up on the stage with me there. But Tammy's assuring me that I'm good to go. Although I just have to go back to Caudry for a second. When he said that he would give up hair to prove that he was drug-free, they must have tested him a lot.
And passed all the tests.
Amen. Where was I before I so rudely interrupted myself? Okay, this year DEA received 44 bookmark entries from headquarters and the field. The community outreach section thanks everyone who allowed their child or children to enter the contest. The entries were reviewed by a panel of judges for originality, creativity, and a clear drug prevention message. In the elementary school category, honorable mention goes to Andrea Villacorta, who is in the 5th grade at Penn Valley Elementary School in Narberth, Pennsylvania. Andrea is a daughter of Special Agent Adriel Villacorta from the DEA Philadelphia Field Division. Andrea is here with her family today. Andrea, would you and your family please stand and let's give her a round of applause. Thank you, Andrea. In the middle school category, honorable mention goes to Juliana Reyes, who is in the 8th grade at the American School Foundation in Mexico City. She is the daughter of Rafael Reyes, the Assistant Regional Director, and Asuncion Reyes, Intelligence Research Specialist in DEA's Mexico City Country Office. Juliana is not here with us today, but if you and your family are watching the live webcast, we congratulate you. Mr. Rosenberg, would you join me on stage for the next presentations, please? The winning bookmark in the elementary school category was drawn by Joseph Aqua, who is in the 5th grade at James McHenry Elementary School in Lanham, Seabrook, Maryland. Joseph is the son of Karen Grant Aqua, who works here at headquarters in the Office of Congressional and Public Affairs. Joseph, would you please come to the stage so we can show off that suit? And would your family please join you? And for those of you who remember ZZ Top, every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Let's give Joseph another hand, please. He forgot his loot. In the middle school category, the winning bookmark was drawn by Daniela Villacorta, who is in the 8th grade at Welsh Valley Middle School in Narberth, Pennsylvania. Daniela is the daughter of Special Agent Adriel Villacorta from the Philadelphia Field Division. Daniela and Andrea, who received an honorable mention, are sisters. Daniela, would you and your family please come to the stage? Let's give Daniela another hand, please. Congratulations again to all of our bookmark contest winners. There are copies of all the winning bookmarks in your program. The DEA will be distributing copies of the winning bookmarks through the demand reduction coordinators in the field. Each year, the DEA sponsors its Community Drug Prevention Award to highlight the importance of grassroots efforts to keep our nation's communities safe and drug-free, to recognize the volunteer activities of DEA employees, and to enhance the DEA's future community outreach-related programs. This year, 17 nominations were submitted from across the DEA in the country. The Community Outreach section thanks all of the individuals and divisions who submitted a nomination. Each nomination was scored by a panel of 5 judges representing the DEA's Office of Intelligence, Diversion Control, Human Resources, Operations, and the Washington Field Division. Thanks to all of the judges for the time and careful consideration they gave to each of the nominations. I am pleased to announce this year's award winners. The first award goes to Walking for Wellness, Stop Heroin, nominated by Karen Cato from DEA's St. Louis Field Division. Walking for Wellness, Stop Heroin was founded in the year 2013 in memory of Nikki Viñas by her mother Guy and a sister Brittany. Walking for Wellness, Stop Heroin is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to educate the community on the dangers of heroin and prevent heroin abuse. The group raises awareness by talking to school groups, assisting others in recovery, and helping to run support groups for those who have lost loved ones to addiction and overdose. Congratulations to Walking for Wellness, Stop Heroin, and thank you for your response to the heroin problem in our country. The second award goes to the National Interschools Brigade, nominated by Joseph Munchow from the DEA's Kingston, Jamaica country office. The National Interschools Brigade, NIB, was created in 2000 to empower young people between the ages of 8 and 24 by providing mentoring, counseling, education, and training for Jamaica's at-risk youth. In October 2015, the National Interschools Brigade successfully brought the first Red Ribbon Week celebration to Jamaica. The event was attended by more than 200 grade school students. In May of this year, the Interschools Brigade held an early preventative intervention course initiative, which was designed to tackle the growing concerns of young boys smoking marijuana and committing disciplinary infractions. 240 young boys between the ages of 7 and 11 participated in the courses, which included drug abuse and gang resistance training. Congratulations to the National Interschools Brigade for making a difference in the youth of Jamaica. Each of this year's winners will receive a plaque and $1,000 to support their local drug prevention efforts in their communities. In addition to these 2 contests, the DEA has other contests and programs that support Red Ribbon and demonstrate that it's truly a celebration for everyone. The DEA is a co-sponsor to the National Family Partnerships National Red Ribbon Photo Contest, which engages families, schools, and communities in actively spreading the Red Ribbon message. The NFP coordinated the first National Red Ribbon celebration, and we thank them for their continued leadership in this arena. The DEA and the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration are co-sponsoring a campus video PSA contest for colleges and universities to promote the importance of preventing illicit drug use and legal drug misuse among college students. The DEA's Red Ribbon Patch Program provides Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts the opportunity to earn a patch from the DEA by participating in anti-drug activities in support of Red Ribbon Week. To find out more about any of these contests, please visit www.getsmartaboutdrugs.com. The DEA also sponsors a Young Marine Award called the Kiki Camarena Division Award. We are broken into 6 divisions across the nation, over about 300 units. The DEA selects 1 unit from every division to award them the Kiki Camarena Award for the efforts that they're making in their local communities. For more information about the Young Marines, please go to www.youngmarines.com. Shameless plug there. It's been a great program, and I've really enjoyed being here with you today. And I know this is scripted, but I really am. I've made new friends, I've seen some great talent, and this is an opportunity for organizations that typically work on their own to come together for such a worthwhile cause. So we're almost close to the close of our program, but we have another performance by the seniors from the South Lake High School Choral Department, which is part of the Fairfax County Public School System. Under the direction of Rita Gigliotti, the South Lakes High School Choral Department has represented the Reston community with pride and musical excellence over the last 12 years. There are 165 students in the choir, which includes 8 different ensembles, which consistently earn superior ratings and rank among the top 10% in our country. The Virginian Music Educators Association has named South Lakes High School Music's Department a Blue Ribbon Special since 2009 for earning superior ratings. And now the seniors of South Lakes High School, accompanied by Ms. Julie Longmire, will sing Bridge Over Troubled Water. Hey, not so close, makes me a little nervous. And let's welcome them back to the stage.
I'll be your bridge over troubled water. When you're down, I will carry you like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, my Lord,
When evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take
water, I will lay me down. Sail on, silver girl. Sail on, silver girl. Sail on by. Sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you ever need a friend, look around, I'm sailing like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind. I'll be your bridge over troubled water. When you're down, I will carry you like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down, lay me down.
Let's hear it one more time for this South Lakes High School seniors. That was impressive. Well, I hope you all enjoyed our event today. As I mentioned in today's opening, Red Ribbon Week is about drug prevention, education, and awareness. It's also about people taking action through families, schools, and communities. If you're interested in getting contact DEA's Community Outreach Section for more information. And they, along with a team of volunteers, make this annual event possible. And I'd like to just take a second to show my appreciation for all the effort that went into this program today. So thank you very much. Again, thank you for being here, and this concludes our event.